These are the highest grossing films ever, adjusted for inflation. Number 10, Force Awakens, 2.58 bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so think about what was happening at the time. I mean, for everybody with wearing rose-colored glasses, not
10
Rustico.
years ago. Fuck.
Oh yeah, but
Jeez.
we we were tired of Lucas being in charge. He had overstayed his welcome. He had beclowned himself in many ways, and we thought, okay, Disney's going to buy this, and Disney had a track record of putting out good, solid movies and IPs and all that right at the time. And here we go. What they do is they bring in Jar Jar Abrams, and he's a huge Star Wars fan. He's just telling. He said that while he was doing Star Trek to explain why his Star Trek movies sucked. But he comes in and we get the first one, and all it is a bad remake of the original Star Wars.
Yeah, but everyone went to see it.
And they're like, and they're coming out because again, by the way, it had been a while since we had a Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Right? Scarcity. Oh, look, it has a value. People are excited. Here you go, and all that. They then saw this and they're like, it was all right. Okay. It was okay. And then I think as they thought about more, realized, this might not be as good, but we'll see. Then came the trailers for Last Jedi. And oh my gosh, everybody was excited right up until they saw the movie. Oops, here we go. Right. Then you just see, decreasing returns every time the movie came out.
Yeah, and I've never been a huge fan of JJ, but I sort of thought that Star Wars was kind of in his wheelhouse. He sort of comes up with the set pieces first and works around it. And
he got sideswiped.
The hell with that. He was incompetent from the get-go. He wrote
he did not have a proper plan.
JJ does not need any excusing. He made a mess.
If I remember,
none of them had a proper plan.
No.
Originally, when George Lucas first penned his, mass script, it had to be broken up into parts because he couldn't make it. So the first one he did, he broke up and made 4, 5, 6. And then he had a plan for 1, 2, 3 to lead into 4, 5, 6. And from everything I've heard, he left a plan for 7, 8, 9, which Disney just threw out. And then they got rid of all the extended universe stuff, which the fans had been, drooling over for 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah, decades.
And you had sort of like all the LucasArts computer games and all those stories as well, and all of it was just wiped out.
Yeah, LucasArts was killed like in the first year of acquisition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good work.
Number 9 is
Dr. Zhivago.
Dr. Zhivago.
2.61 bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a reason that my wife's name is Lara, Lara. It's because of this movie.
It's and it's, if you've never seen it, it's very hard to explain, but it's a proper traditional epic love story, and the bit, and there's that's all like the sleigh riding away at the end and running up the house and looking out for her, and you just see nothing, and it's really chilling. It's very good.
Yep.
Yeah, I was a wee lad and my grandmother took me to see it, and it's an amazing film.
Yep. You cannot escape Laura's theme if you grew up in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think
or 60s.
We should probably revisit a few of these anyway. Okay. Number 8, 1956, 10 Commandments.
Let my people go.
Moses and the United States are going to intimidate my father.
Another epic.
Yes.
Designed to be a huge movie. Hundreds of extras, massive. There wasn't set pieces and sort of like huge sets and on location shooting, and it was big.
Yeah, huge. when you saw a crowd of 10,000 people, it was 10,000 people.
It was 10,000 people, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember this when this would air on like broadcast TV. This was an event. People would just okay, don't call me on Sunday because we're going to be sitting and watching 3 hours of the 10 Commandments. Let's go.
Yeah, and they would air it without commercials.
Oh yeah, it would just go.
I nearly fell off my creaky chair then.
Oh my goodness.
Common people, Common people are arranged. 5069.
Thank you, common people.
Yes.
Oh, common. You are beyond generous, my friend.
I mean, I want to just
Beyond.
warn you. I want to warn you, Brown. Common People owns a majority stake in several channels on YouTube, and it looks like he may be making a hostile takeover attempt right now.
He owns the channel anyway. Here you go, folks. Hey, chat member. Is that remember?
Hey, chat.
Hey, chat
when-
member. That should be an apostrophe. Member. When Joey said, oh, God.
I first saw Star Wars as a special edition in theaters, even as a kid. I thought it wasn't really better than the VHS releases. Lucas actually fixed the compositing errors in the VHS releases long before the specials. I do remember that comment.
And then coming in
Good-
hot
good
because you
times.
forgot.
Oh, yeah. Good times.
Common people wrench 269. Good times.
You're 10% of the way, or maybe 5% of the way to a new computer.
Yeah, I've been eyeing up a M4 Mac this week.
Okay,
What do we get
2%.
No, you can get the minis.
Number
Yeah.
7, 1982 E.T.
E.T. Yeah.
2.92. That would have been 3.92, but they had to pay the phone bill.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The long distance back then was a bitch.
And the CGI turning rifles into walkie-talkies.
Oh
and
my
back
God.
into
Oh,
rifles
yeah.
I
again.
remember.
That's
Yep.
expensive.
That
Ian's
was
favourite-
another go fuck yourself and stop listening to George Lucas. He's wrong.
Ian's favorite film.
E.T.
Yeah.
You know, I remember. So E.T. When it came out, it was absolutely. I mean, it was a cultural event. There's a reason we still can buy Reese's Pieces. That candy was invented for this movie. It was product placement, and here you go. But
And,
this
Eminem
movie,
turned it down.
yeah, this movie also managed to kill some classics like The Thing, Blade Runner.
Yes.
Right? They
Oh,
all
yeah.
came out around the same time, and E.T. just lawnmowered everything.
except for Wrath of Khan, which when we would go to the theater and watch Wrath of Khan all day in between showings, we would go in and watch bits of E.T.
Yeah, I mean, Wrath of Khan, but again, it was a different demographic. But even then, I assure you, had Wrath of Khan come out in like '83, probably would have had a better shot as long as it wasn't lined up against Jedi.
Yeah.
E.T. would have, sorry, not E.T., Thing would have stood a better chance if it had been out in 83.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was it was a difficult sell at the time.
It was ahead
was
of its
just-
time.
It was just ahead of its time.
You know what didn't mow over the competition? The E.T. video game.
Oh well, I mean, it mowed down the entire video game industry.
Yeah, fair.
It was really kind of the last straw on an otherwise overloaded.
Here you go,
Thank you,
folks.
Sly.
Sly Jester, what a spot. Gifted 1 NBA membership. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Okay. So where do we get to then? So E.T., yes. So
Yep.
number 6, Sound of Music.
Look at 1965. You get Dr. Zhivago and The Sound of Music both pulling over $2.5 billion.
2.98B.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
only watched Sound of Music probably with first time within the last 10 years. It was on
Really?
Christmas. What a great movie.
Yeah.
No CGI.
Yeah, people
It's
don't
entirely
realize the full scope and story
Mm.
of that film.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, people always forget that a certain mustachioed German and his
Yeah.
crew are involved.
It's not all just dancing in the meadows of this.
Yeah,
No.
I probably saw it very, very young, but I can't remember. But the first time I probably saw it was about 10 years ago. It's fantastic. Such a good film.
It is. Yeah.
Number 5, 2019. That's
Endgame.
Endgame Avengers. 3.27B.
The last
Yeah.
Avengers movie.
They are never gonna Marvel Studio. They are never
They're not
seeing that
sniffing it.
again.
They're never
Yeah.
sniffing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
will
yeah.
never-
And oh, by the way, a bad movie. But because of everything that had gone before it to build it up,
Yeah.
everybody had to see it.
It was end of an era, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at the time everybody thought that was it for Marvel. That was going to be the last Marvel movie.
Yeah, well, you would think. I mean, take a break, boys. Count your
It would
money.
make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope.
This is the bigger then. Number 4, 1977. Star Wars!
Yep.
Yeah.
3.56B.
Yeah, and again, this is very much the era in which it came out, because look at the movie landscape throughout the 70s, right? It's all very nihilistic. There's dark and sad, and you have anti-heroes and all that stuff. And then this hopeful motherfucker shows up, and everybody is like, "Oh yes, have some." Right? It's like being in a desert, and you suddenly find an oasis with a cool spring, and people would not leave. I mean, again, this was continuously in movie theaters until Empire.
Yeah, and before this, every
Really?
movie was just trying to be Easy Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typing. Okay, so that was Star Wars. This always goes down well in my house. Number 3, 1977. Titanic.
I got the song in my head now. Stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stop.
one of my guilty pleasures. I love the theme tune. 3.68B.
This showed the power of women,
Yeah.
because oh my God, women were dragging men to see this thing.
Yeah, do you remember what the original poster looked like before the video came out and they were selling it as a romance? It was a disaster movie at first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They
It
had
showed the
the-
ship actually sinking, didn't it?
Yeah, they had
Yep.
the big gray bulkhead just going down into the water, and then was it Celine Dion hits and
Oh,
Yeah.
you're getting me going. A
We
Night
know
to
that our
Remember-
Brune will go on.
Well, A Night to Remember is a great movie as well. You know, the original Titanic movie.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
Night-
Oh,
A
yeah.
Night to
Well,
Remember.
the British, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah, it
movie as
is. And really well shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although the sequel to Titanic didn't do so well.
No.
Was
It
that
really
Raised
was.
the Titanic?
No, there was a movie called Titanic 2, and
Yeah.
it was bad.
Raise the Titanic is also
it?
hilarious.
Yeah. Titanic 2 is also hilarious, but it's a really terrible movie.
That's where all the money for Space 1999 season 3 went. Okay, moving on.
Mhm.
Number 2, 2009 Avatar.
I hate this.
3.
I don't remember.
6B.
Well, it was a hell of a tech demo.
Yeah,
yeah, I knew a movie came out and I saw it, but I have no memory.
I've said this about Avatar. It looked good. Everyone will comment on the fact it was a beautiful movie.
Yep.
And nothing else about it is memorable at all.
I went to see it on a proper IMAX in 3D. Bear in mind, it was 2009. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Tell me about the story. That's
remember
what I
it.
thought. Yeah.
I remember a big ship
Blue.
staring down the gantry with lots of ladders and
There's blue people
3D.
and they're attacked by
Big
giant
spaceships.
things.
Yep. Big
And-
hit with the furry community.
Stephen,
I'm
what's
thinking of the
his
Smurfs.
face as the sergeant thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. For Avatar, they wanted an unearthly feel, so they actually got someone called a xenomusicologist. They paid millions of pounds to have this woman go around the world and get all sorts of random and peculiar music from places you wouldn't think of. So things like, goat herder tunes and, places out in deepest Africa and Peru.
and
And stuff.
the Bulgarian chanting. That's always a big one. But
Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
she
Mongolian
out
throat
these
singing
huge-
and
Yeah,
she never even left the planet. How lazy is that?
Yeah, I
You
know.
want
What the hell?
alien music
Also,
and
all
best
of this
bit-
exists.
Yeah.
We had ethnographers go out and record this set starting in like the 1920s.
Yeah, but she wrote all of this, and she also came up with the idea. They've only got 3 fingers, so they would actually play instruments with a pentatonic scale rather than an octatic scale, which we have because we got more fingers.
Mhm.
But she did all of this, and she came back, and was it Cameron, the guy?
Yeah, James Cameron.
director guy. He looked at it. It was sort of like 100-page document about it, and went, "No, I prefer an orchestra sound."
Yeah,
And
go
so
away.
just went back to a normal.
Can we name a
Western
character
orchestra.
other than Sully?
only 3 fingers. Why couldn't they get 4 fingers? That so
Sorry,
close.
you did that. Very good.
So
Sorry, you did
close.
that. Yeah, common
Well-
people will feel robbed with 3 fingers, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and I mean, if they
Well-
went with a pentatonic scale, why didn't they just do all of the script as iambic pentameter? What the hell?
You know, most guitarists only play pentatonic too, so
Yeah.
just
There
they
are
have 10
3
fingers. But
fingers.
Only 3 fingers.
Okay. Number 1,
they have a thumb?
1939. Bono. Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
the
4
undisputed champ.
Yeah.
It just stands.
4.34. I don't think I've seen Gone with the
Oh
Wind
my God,
in its
Jesus.
in entirety. I think I've seen clips. I can't remember seeing it. in
It is a
one
beautiful
sitting.
romance. There's a reason why it was so well received, and it's a reason why it's still talked about nearly 100
Yep.
years later.
Frankly, Mr. Brown, I don't
I
give
don't
a
give a
damn.
damn.
Damn. Oh, classic.
Don't
Yep.
they have trigger warnings on it now?
Oh, I thought they
Oh, I'm
canceled
sure.
Sound of Music, isn't it? Yeah, half of these they won't even show without
Yeah.
some kind of censorship.
Yeah. Yeah, Gone with the Wind just stands astride cinema like a colossus. I mean, if you take away the earnings and figure out like ticket prices and how many butts in seats were there,
Yeah.
oh my Lord, it is huge, especially in comparison to the population. Like,
Yeah.
look at all these movies and go, okay, percentage of population that the attendance would represent.
I guarantee you 95% of Hollywood writers haven't even seen any of these past Avatar.
Avatar.
You also have to remember that up
Oh,
until
Endgame.
like into the 1980s, there wasn't digital. It was all the films had to be printed and then shipped out to each of the theaters. So it was it was a major operation. And then once you got up to sort of like Avatar, you just downloaded a file onto a USB stick and stuck it in the side of a projector.
Well, I mean that starts with Lucas with the prequels.
Yeah.
I think it's the second one that's all digital.
Yeah, but it's it's so different back then. There was so much more work involved in just getting people to go and see Gone with the Wind to begin with as well.
So
Yeah,
it's more
and-
of a
and-
logistics problem.
Well, not only that, but like I mean, if you're a movie theater and if you so you had the option of essentially like leasing the film, right, which means you return it to the studio afterwards, or you bought it outright. Well, if you bought it outright, you had display rights for it because you owned it, right? And so Gone with the Wind, you could go see it in the 50s. You go see it in the 60s. Right. And it wasn't, oh, we're doing a special release. No. There were theaters that owned that print.
They owned the print and
And
whenever they wanted.
I worked in a movie theater when I was a teenager, and those film cans weigh like 80 pounds.
Yeah,
There's
they're
a
not-
reason
they're not
why
light.
the girls never dragged the movies upstairs.
James Gone with the Wind was color to begin with.
That's 86 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Fuck. And on that bombshell,